If you have ever opened an explanation of benefits, sometimes called an EOB, and felt like it was written in a different language, you are not alone. There are three terms that trip up almost everyone with a health plan: the deductible, the copay, and the out-of-pocket maximum. On their own, each one sounds simple enough, but the confusing part is how they connect, and which one applies when. In this video, we are going to follow one ordinary medical bill from the moment of the visit all the way to the final amount you owe, so you can actually see the order your money flows. We will also clear up one of the most common beliefs out there, that copays always count toward your deductible. The short answer is, it depends on your plan. Before we start, a quick note. Every plan is different, and the exact numbers, rules, and how these pieces interact vary by state, by insurer, and by your specific policy. So treat the figures here as illustrations, not your situation. Let us define the three players in plain English. Your deductible is the amount you pay out of your own pocket for covered services before your plan starts sharing the cost with you. If your deductible is $2,000, you generally pay the first $2,000 of covered care yourself. A copay is a flat, fixed dollar amount you pay for a specific service at the time you receive it. For example, a set amount for a doctor visit or a prescription. It does not change based on the total bill. The out-of-pocket maximum is a yearly ceiling. It is the most you should have to pay for covered in-network services in a plan year. Once your spending reaches that ceiling, your plan generally pays 100% of covered costs for the rest of the year. There is a fourth term that connects them, coinsurance, which is a percentage of the cost you share with your plan after you have met your deductible. Keep these four in mind because they all show up on the same bill. Imagine you need a procedure, and the negotiated in-network cost of that procedure is $6,000. That is the price your insurer and the provider have agreed on, which is often very different from the sticker price you might see first. For this example, let us say your plan has a $2,000 deductible, 20% coinsurance, and a $6,000 out-of-pocket maximum. None of these are typical or recommended numbers. They are just round figures to make the math easy to follow. When the bill comes in, your plan does not simply pay most of it and send you a small share. Instead, the cost moves through stages, and the stage you are in depends on how much you have already paid so far this year. Let us assume this is your first medical cost of the year, so your deductible has not been touched yet. Watching where each dollar goes is the whole key to understanding your EOB. The first stage is your deductible, and this is where most of the confusion begins. Because you have a $2,000 deductible and have spent nothing yet this year, you are responsible for the first $2,000 of that $6,000 procedure. During this stage, your plan is generally not splitting the cost with you. You are paying the negotiated rate yourself until the deductible is satisfied. So out of the $6,000 procedure, the first $2,000 comes straight from you. This is why a single early-in-the-year bill can feel so large. You are crossing your deductible before your plan begins to share. It is also worth knowing that some plans have separate deductibles, for example, one for medical care and a different one for prescription drugs, and family plans can have both individual and family deductibles. How those are structured is spelled out in your plan documents, so it is worth reading them rather than assuming. Once your $2,000 deductible is met, you move into the second stage, coinsurance. Remember, our example plan has 20% coinsurance. That means for the remaining covered cost, you pay 20% and your plan pays the other 80%. After the first $2,000 went to your deductible, $4,000 of the procedure is left. You pay 20% of that $4,000, which is $800, and your plan covers the remaining $3,200. So far in this example, you have paid $2,000 for the deductible plus $800 in coinsurance, for a total of $2,800. This is the stage people often picture when they imagine how insurance works, the cost being split, but notice it only begins after the deductible is handled. The percentage split continues for additional covered services throughout the year, until you hit the final stage. The third stage is the safety net, the out-of-pocket maximum. This is the most you should have to pay for covered in-network care in a plan year, and it exists precisely so that a serious medical event does not result in unlimited bills. In our example, the out-of-pocket maximum is $6,000. Both the money you spent on your deductible and the money you spent on coinsurance generally count toward reaching it. So if later in the year more covered care pushed your total spending up to that $6,000 ceiling, your plan would then pay 100% of covered in-network services for the rest of the plan year. One important detail: the out-of-pocket maximum typically applies to covered in-network care. Going out of network, or services your plan does not cover, may not count and may not be capped the same way. The exact rules are defined by your specific plan. Now to the belief we promised to clear up: do copays count toward your deductible? Here is the honest answer: it depends entirely on how your plan is written, and the two are not the same thing. A copay is that flat fee you pay at the time of service, while the deductible is the running total you pay before cost sharing begins. In many plans, copays do not count toward the deductible, but they often do count toward the out-of-pocket maximum. In other plans, certain copays may count toward the deductible. There is no single universal rule, which is exactly why two people can swear opposite things and both be right about their own plans. The only reliable way to know is to read your summary of benefits and coverage, or call the number on your insurance card and ask directly, does this copay apply to my deductible, and does it apply to my out-of-pocket maximum? Asking it that plainly tends to get a clear answer. So here is the whole picture in order. In most plans, your money flows through 3 stages. First, you pay down your deductible, then you share costs through coinsurance, and finally you reach your out-of-pocket maximum, after which your plan covers the rest of your covered in-network care for the year. Copays sit a little to the side. They are flat fees that often count toward your out-of-pocket maximum, but may or may not count toward your deductible, depending on your plan. The single most useful habit is to read your explanation of benefits line by line and match each charge to the stage you were in. And remember, the numbers and rules in this video are simplified illustrations. Deductibles, percentages, caps, and how copays are treated all vary by state, by insurer, and by your specific policy, and they can change from year to year. This video is general information, not financial or insurance advice. Consult a licensed agent or your plan documents for your own situation, and use official sources like your summary of benefits and coverage to confirm the details that apply to you.